Hello everyone and welcome to Ecoholics. So in this video we will be talking about how to crack econometrics and I will be sharing very important tricks to solve numerical problems. So whenever I teach econometrics to different kind of students who are preparing for various competitive examinations, the most common question that I get asked is econometrics feel very difficult, ma'am. We are not able to really solve the past year questions. So, can we please skip it? I don't want to do econometrics. I would prefer to take up another subject maybe in that place. But why is there so much horror among the students about econometrics? The only problem lies is the way you are learning the subject and the way you are solving the questions. When you're learning it not completely, not properly, and you're also not doing the questions right way, ultimately you're going to get wrong answers. You're not going to score well because of that. And that is where the continuous fear gets into your mind that econometrics is tough. But let me tell you, if you start right, if you practice right, econometrics is not a tough subject. Instead, it is a very easy, very scoring subject. And in this video, I will tell you very important tricks that you can use to clear your various examinations. So, not just one examination, but I will be telling the tricks to solve the same question for various different examination. So let's get into the video. Now, the first thing is why econometrics is important for your examination. Now tell me one thing. The thing is why econometrics is important for you. So whether you are preparing for your UG exams, if you are a student preparing for your PG exams, you are a student preparing for UGC NET, MA entrance, RBI Grade B DPR exam, Indian Economic Services, and even your PhD entrance, econometrics is a very important exam for you. Many of you might not have got the chance to study it right or even study it during your undergraduation and even your post graduation. And that is where your fear just starts kicking in that I have not done econometrics yet. So, how will I take that up during my entrance exams? You first need to think that there in your life you always have done, you always have learned something for the first time. कभी तो कुछ चीज पहली बार की होगी. You must have studied English also first time when you entered the school. So why are we getting the fear? Now we are grown up. So at this point of time learning new should not be very tough for us. अब तो डरना नहीं चाहिए ना. We should not get scared of it. We should instead be very happy to learn something. Whether you are sitting in your UG exam, whether you are studying for your PG exam, or even the various other competitive examinations, econometric plays a very important role because econometrics not only just prepares you or helps you to get higher score in your exam, but also it broadens up your mind for analyzing. So when you are an economic student, analyzing things should be a key skill among your set of skills you have. If you can't analyze things, if you're not good at analyzing things, you are not going in the right direction while studying for economics. All right. So, econometrics broaden up your mind basically for analyzing. It increases your analyzing skills. So, that is why it's very important. That's the first thing. The second thing is that it is definitely going to give you higher marks in exam. Now, if we talk about, let's say, you have an exam tomorrow. Now, you wanted to study econometrics, but you couldn't. And you thought that, okay, I just have 5 hours for something and I will spend that into Indian economy, let's say. Now, econometrics can give you way more higher marks if you pay correct attention to that. So, econometrics is that subject that can actually help you to clear the cutoffs of your examination because in econometrics, If something is right, it is right. If it is wrong, it is wrong. There is no in between, right? So it helps you to score higher marks by studying the same amount of time. So it's not that only econometrics pad lo and do not read the other subjects. I'm not saying that. All of the subjects are equally important, but econometrics is very important for scoring more marks. If you are preparing for, let's say, Indian Economic Services, and if you feel that you need to clear the exam with flying colors, in that case, econometrics plays a very important role. It will give you an edge over the other students. Okay. And the third important thing is, you might leave econometrics at one stage. Maybe you are not willing to do it right now. You think that, okay, I will do it later on. But let me tell you, if you're skipping it right now for your current exam, there is a higher chance that you might skip it during your next stage as well. Whatever it is, maybe your job or your PhD or your PG degree. But without econometrics, your education, your knowledge of economics is not complete. So, econometrics is a crucial part of economics. So, if you're not doing it, you are leaving a part of economics. Your degree, the value of your degree is not going to be very high. It's not going to be complete if you're skipping econometrics for your while your preparation. So that is the importance over here. Now let's talk about the bifurcation of the econometrics syllabus. Now, bifurcation में what do we want to study? Econometrics has two type of questions. We will do both of them, but it has two type of questions. One are numerical questions, and we are going to learn the tricks for cracking those questions, and the other are also theoretical questions. Now, many people say that, okay, I will just do numericals, I will learn the formulas, I will just go in the exam and solve it. But if your concepts, if your theoretical knowledge is not clear, in that case, even a minute twist in your paper, in your question, is going to bring a lag to your question. Why? Because if your theoretical knowledge is not clear, if you don't know that, okay, if an assumption of multicollinearity is getting violated, then they gave you were not clear about that how a violation of assumption can affect your result. Now they're giving you a numerical where that assumption is violated. So, how will you use the same formula after the assumption is violated? So, that is why theoretical knowledge of econometrics plays a very important role. So, first, before you head towards numericals, theoretical knowledge of the concepts is very important. So, that's the first trick I want to share here for cracking the numericals, that your theoretical knowledge should be on your fingertips. If I'm asking you that, okay, your model possess the problem of heteroscedasticity, you should be ready with the solution. You should be ready telling me that, okay, this is how we can remove the problem of heteroscedasticity. Only then, if your theoretical knowledge is strong, only then you are able to solve the questions, because I can present a same question in five versions by just tweaking little information in them. In one, I can tell you that there is problem of autocorrelation. Tell me how will I solve it. In one, I will say no, there is a problem of multicollinearity. Tell me how will I solve this. So, but in the same question, if I change the information, the question will change and the same formula can't be used. So the first trick is that your theoretical knowledge should be very clear. You should not get stuck when it comes to different kind of assumptions, when it comes to different kind of models. So for theoretical knowledge, you should know the various assumptions, you should know the different tests we have for every problem, every remedies के टेस्ट पता होने चाहिए, all of that. So when you are doing the theoretical knowledge, you should not learn it, you should understand it. कि ठीक है, there is a problem which is coming in my model, this is why I'm using a particular solution to it. So in econometrics, whenever you use a particular solution, there is a reason behind it. So that should be highly clear. ठीक है? So first trick is that you should know. The second trick, very important trick, is correct way to revise. This is the highest problem I have seen students facing. I have seen students when they are attending a class or when they are listening to someone teaching econometrics, they feel, oh, I understand everything. Econometrics is just a thing of my left hand and all of that. But the point is that when after few days they go to their exam hall and then they see a question, they are familiar with that question, but they are not able to solve it. I have seen students who were performing well, but just because they did not opt for the correct way of revision, they were not able to solve questions which I gave them in the weekly test. So, testing yourself at right times is very important. So, when I realize that, okay, the revision, the way they are learning, the way they are doing revision is the problem here. So, I figured it out clearly for them that they need to revise it correctly. So, now what is the correct way to revise? Now, you can't just open the book. You can't just open the book of Gujarati and then just read, oh, okay, so this is beta 2 is summation xi yi upon summation xi square. This is not the correct way to revise. You just can't read through the lines. The correct way to revise is you can open a rough notebook with you. You first revise it. Let's say you revise chapter number 2 of Gujarati. You revised it, you close the book, and whatever you remember out of that, you just start writing in your rough notebook. And after you have written it down, become your own teacher and just match the details. If you have written something wrong, it means you're conceptually weak there, and this is how you will revise. Now, this way is perfect because you remember, after closing the textbook you will remember the title also. No one is asking you to write assumptions of OLS, but if you're remembering that, okay, chapter 2 had assumptions of OLS, it means you have done the right way. So, revision should never be done orally by just reading through the lines. You should always write and revise. So, write this title everywhere. Write and revise. So, from now onwards, all my students, whether you are preparing for your college exams, whether you are preparing for your competitive exams, just remember this slogan: write and revise. That's the perfect way. If you follow this, you are not going to forget the things in the exam, क्योंकि जब एग्जाम में कुछ होगा, subconsciously you have written that in your mind. When you do writing, subconsciously it enters your mind. So that is the correct way to revise. So second trick to solve the numerical is do the revision in the correct way by writing. And in writing, you don't have to write long paragraphs. You don't have to write, okay, let's say I gave you the task of revising the assumptions of OLS. You don't have to do it. No multicollinearity. So you will write no multicollinearity. And then, if there are more than if there are more than one independent variable, then those two variables should not be correlated. This is not how you have to write it always. No, you just have to, when I am asking you to write the assumptions, you just simply have to write it: no multicollinearity, covariance between x2i and x3i should be 0. This is how you should be able to do it. You don't have to write long paragraphs. You just have to write the essence of what I'm asking you when you're doing revision. Exam may, of course, you will write completely, but not here. Okay, this is the correct way to revise. Now, where to solve questions from? The most asked question. Where to solve questions? Up, if you're not getting the correct place to solve questions, you can't solve questions in your exam. So, this is the third trick, that choose the right place, choose the right source to solve questions from. Choose the right source to solve questions from. Now, what is that right source for you? That right source completely depends upon your exam you're preparing for. Let's say if you're preparing for your UG economics exam, the semester exams, You just need to do the theoretical part of your econometrics, or for numericals, basic numericals from Introductory Econometrics by Damodar Gujarati. So the book name is Damodar Gujarati, Introductory Econometrics. So you do not need to do all of them, just basic one. If you're doing PG Economics, then for PG Economics, you can solve the questions from, again, Damodar Gujarati is one, of course. Then after that, you can also solve questions from Woolridge. Okay, Woolridge is a good book to solve questions from. If you're studying for UGC NET, for UGC NET, the questions are very direct. They don't tweak questions. So the first place to practice is PYQs. If you're preparing for RBI DPR, the resources for the PG economics will also work for you. But then the next thing is, if I'm writing Damodar Gujarati, if I'm writing Woolridge, it does not mean you have to do all of them. No, you don't have to do all of them. You need to choose questions which are appropriate for your exam. So, one question might be good for a PG economics student, but that question might not be appropriate for RBI DPR, because you need to see how they are testing you. They will test you differently. I can test you on for the assumptions of OLS differently if you're a UG student, if you're a PG student. I can ask you the same question in five different ways. So when you're doing questions from these sources I'm telling you, you need to choose them wisely for your exam purposes. So that guidance is very important. So for that, quickly go through your PYQs before you start solving questions. So do solve questions, do solve ample amount of questions. So practice good amount of questions before you go to your exam. If you don't solve good amount of questions in the exam, nothing can save you, because it might be possible that you will do well, you will score well, but your conceptual clarity is lacking. If the paper comes difficult, you might not be able to clear it. So the third trick to solve numerical is practice a lot before you head to the real examination. Okay, and now after this we will be doing some examples, but a very important point to note here is the fourth point, that is, keep your anxiety levels at the low. If you're very anxious while you're solving, you will read incorrect information, you will do it wrongly. There are higher chances that you knew that topic but you still made a mistake there because you were anxious, you had anxiety. So the fourth point is, don't be anxious. It's okay, it's just a question, you can solve it. You have the knowledge, pay have trust in yourself. I know you can solve it. So just be patient and just pay attention to the details. Okay? And the fifth and the most important point is, revise formulas at least 5 times before you go to your exam. So make a sheet of formulas, paste that sheet where you study, revise that at least 5 times before you go to your exam. And when I say revision, it means write and revise. Remember, write and revise. Okay, now with these tricks, let's have a look at some kind of questions. You can see, um, you have, suppose that you have got the following estimated results in estimating a relationship between y and x in a dynamic framework, where the dynamic framework here means over different period of time. So it's a time series model. So the equation is yt is equal to 2.7 plus 0.6xt plus 0.05 yt minus 1, where the figures in parentheses show the standard errors. So the standard error of this is 0.392 and here it's 0.004. The R square value is 0.989, whereas the DW, what is DW? The Durbin Watson D test statistic. So that is why the theoretical knowledge is very important. In your estimation, even the R square is very high, so the results are useless. Explain why this estimation is useless. Now, this question might seem like a numerical, but this is a pure theoretical question. They gave you the model. Now, here you will feel, Array, I know how to calculate R square, I know how to calculate the D test statistic, I know everything. But the point is, they're asking you clearly that R square is high and the results are useless. So explain why this estimation is useless. They're not asking you your opinion. They are clearly asking that this is useless. Tell us why this is useless. So for this, you need to know theoretical as well as numerical knowledge. Because theoretically, you should know why here R square is useless, why the high value of R square is a problem here. Second, to prove, you need to know the values, you need to know the formulas that can prove it wrong. So here, how can you show that the estimation is useless? You can show the t-test statistic of the x variable that it is insignificant. So here the problem of autocorrelation is going to exist. So you will show that Durbin-Watson d-test statistic value is 0.06, which shows the existence of autocorrelation here. That is why R square is very high, and because of that the coefficients are becoming insignificant, statistically insignificant. Now this is theory and you can show it through the numerical as well, the formulas as well. Now if you look at the second one, they have given you values here. It's a pure numerical question. Summation x, summation y, summation x minus x bar whole square, likewise all the values. They ask you to estimate the parameters alpha and beta of the model. Now, here again, alpha is your intercept, theoretical knowledge, beta is your regression coefficient. Again, theoretical knowledge came to my use. So I can use the formulas of alpha and beta, the estimation values, the estimation formulas, which are like this, and I can solve this. Now here the importance is beta has various formulas how you can calculate it, but you need to see the way data is given to you. You need to choose a formula which is suitable according to the data given to you. So here summation xi yi is given to me, which is 70, and summation small xi square is also given, which is 40. So this is what my beta hat comes out. Alpha hat is y bar minus beta hat x bar. So y bar I can calculate and x bar I can calculate. Then similarly estimate the standard error of these estimates. So standard error, again you can simply use the formula and calculate standard error using this information. How would you test beta? So testing beta is very easy. You can use this test statistic, the beta hat upon standard error of beta hat. So one value you will take from part A, one value you will take from part B, and you will calculate t-test statistic, and then you will simply test it. So now can you see, the only formulas are not going to help you to solve questions. You need to have theoretical knowledge as well. So these were the 5 most important tips I wanted to share with you all. I hope you would like these tricks and they will help you in your real exam. I will see you in another video for econometrics. Till then, bye, and you can subscribe to our channel for watching such videos where we will be helping you to excel and gain good marks in your examination.